Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today in this session about our pre-departure orientation. We're very excited that you're all going to study and live in the United States, and we hope this session is very helpful to you and will prepare you for your next adventure that you're going to embark on. Before we start, we would like to let you know that if you do have any questions during the session, we will have some time for this and we will be answering all your questions, but please do not use the chat because we won't be looking at the chat. If you have any questions, please use the option that says question and answer. There's like a little box next to it that says preguntas y respuestas. So feel free to write any questions you have there, and we will be answering them after each section of this seminar, okay? Again, welcome. We're very excited that you are joining us today, and hopefully this will prepare you for your new experience in the United States. By the way, my name is Anna. I haven't introduced myself, sorry. I'm an Education USA advisor, and we also have Melody, who is also my colleague from Education USA, and we also have a representative from the US Embassy who will be talking about student visas. So our first thing is going to be talking about practical information and what to know before you go. Then we're gonna jump on to student visas and see what the process looks like and if you have any questions. And finally, we will have a panel with current university students, and they will tell us more about their experience, some tips, and how it is living and studying on a US campus. Okay, so let's start. First, we also want to remind you that as of May 12, 2023, you do not longer need to show proof of being fully vaccinated with an accepted COVID vaccine to board on a flight to the United States. So, just to remind you, this is no longer a requirement if you want to travel and fly to the United States. Okay, let's start. Let's see first what to pack, okay? So maybe you might be really comfortable with this information, but some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't know what to put in my luggage, right? So, of course, very important, your passport, your visa, as well as your I-20 and DS 2019 printed. These two documents are the ones that allow you to start your US visa process. And these are given to you by your university. So make sure you have that because that's a very important document, okay? Appropriate clothes. So we recommend you to look up the weather on wherever you're going, whichever state you're going, for the first month or so and see what the weather looks like and pack appropriately, right? Don't worry on bringing a lot of clothes or don't worry about this too much because, you know, you're always going to have a chance to buy anything there if there's anything that you're missing, right? Bed sheets and pillowcases. So maybe some of the dorm rooms or like the rooms on campus might not have this when you get there. So you might have to bring your own. So we always recommend, you know, check with the university, see if they provide with this service. And if not, just to let you know, they might have some service where you can order this directly to your dorm room. So it's there when you get there and you can, you know, have a good night's sleep the first night. And just make sure that you're buying the correct size of bed sheets and pillowcases. Just ask about the size of the bed that you're gonna have. Same with a towel, right? You might or may not have it when you get there, and if you need it for the first days, just bring it with you so it's already there with you. Plug adapter and converter. Remind you that the plugs in the United States are different from the ones we have here in Spain and in Europe, so you want to need an adapter, okay, in case you need to charge your electronic devices and stuff like that. Your favorite product. So if you do have something that you use every day and that there's this certain brand that you really like, and they might have it in the United States but maybe not, so if you want to make sure you have this with you, just bring it with you, and so it's there for you. Other important documentation that you will want to need or you will want to bring with you, it's the medical record and the immunization sheets, and also any prescriptions you have for medication, okay? So make sure you bring this with you for your travels. Your university might publish or might send you some information on what to bring, what they call the what to bring checklist, and also what not to bring checklist. So, it's always good to check that information, see what's on that list, and follow their instructions. And if you have any questions regarding that, you can always contact Student Services, and they will be happy to help you. As we've said before, please put your most important and valuable items in your carry-on bag or in your backpack. So we're talking passport, I-20, DS 2019, important documentation, medication, laptop, all that stuff. Make sure you have it with you at all times, okay? Let's talk about important people to know on campus. So we want to make sure you know who these people are and what they do, and what help they can bring you during your studies, okay? So the DSO, this is the designated school official, and this person is a very important person that you might need to know who this person is, because they help with international students, and they do everything regarding your visas, your student visas, okay? So if there is a change of your studies, you want to change your major, you're gonna extend your stay, or you're gonna leave earlier, or you might be traveling outside the country, anything like that, make sure you contact this person, because they will be able to help you and, give you some advice. Next person is the academic advisor, okay? So this person's going to be with you throughout all your studies. And it's a very important person, because they can help you with anything related to academic affairs. So choosing classes, majors, minors, picking your schedule, anything like that. So this is very helpful to know and to have in mind if you have any questions regarding that. If you live on the dorm room, so like the houses on campus, you might have an RA, the resident assistant, and this is normally a student that lives on campus that has more experience, and they will help you with anything relating to housing, living in the dorms, some rules, meeting new people, stuff like that. So it's always good to have this contact in case you need anything. Finally, tutors, okay? So these people will help you with homework, class material, anything related to your classes. So it's always good to know that these people can help you and give you a hand in case you need anything with your homework, okay? Next, we're going to talk about important places to know, okay? So we want to make sure you know these places and what they are there for, in case, again, you might need to have some help, right? So first is the International Student Services Office, and they will be a big support when you get there and also throughout your whole stay, because they are in charge. Well, they like advise students, and especially international students, of course. So they will help you with any questions you have, how to open a bank account, how to get a phone plan. They also organize events and activities to get to know their students and stuff like that. So it's always good to know that they are there for you, okay? So don't be shy to ask and to seek help if you ever need anything. The student union or student center, the name might depend on the university, but this is where there is this place where you can go, and they organize activities, events around campus. They are normally run by students, so it's always a good option to go meet them and make friends. So it's always a good place to go, right? The Center of Academic Success, this is where the Writing Center and Tutoring Center are. And this is a very important place, because if you ever need anything regarding academics, you want to, have some help with your assignments, or you want to meet with your tutors, this is where you need to go, okay? Same with the Career Center. This place is where they will help you with things like building up your resume, or giving you interview tips, maybe getting an internship, stuff like that. So it's a good resource for the students, right? And finally, the Health and Wellness Center. This is where you can get information about health resources and basic, health services. So, make sure you know where they are, who they are, in case you ever need anything. Okay, let's jump onto academics now. So maybe you're familiar with this terminology, but if you're not, just to let you know that the different years when it comes to undergraduate students have names in the United States, and normally students and also professors will refer to these names. So it's good to be familiar with it. So if you're in your first year of your undergraduate education, you're a freshman and you're in your freshman year. If you're in the second year, you're a sophomore. If you're the third, you're a junior. And if you're in the last before you graduate, you're a senior, okay? More with academics, let's talk about grades. So, when it comes to grading, it's different from Spain. So, in Spain, it's out of 10, but in the United States, it's out of 4, okay? And normally these numbers have letters associated. So as you can see here here is a chart comparing the two grading systems. And so you can see what like the equivalent is. But don't worry about this too much because you're gonna get used to it when you're on campus, okay? Okay, very important topic is plagiarism. So, this is a very serious offense at US universities, and I cannot stress this enough. Please do not copy academic work from others, okay? Because it can get you in trouble. So if you are ever, in doubt on how to cite or you don't know how to use citations, please visit your university's writing center because they are there to help you with this, okay? And you want to make sure you're writing your assignments correctly and you don't have any problems regarding this. The office hours are professors in the US campuses will let you know when they have office hours, and this is a great opportunity for you to go and to ask any questions regarding class materials, assignments. It's also a good opportunity for you to get to know your professors and build a professional relationship with them. So, as we're saying, don't be shy to go and use these resources because they are there to help you and to make your experience as successful as possible, okay? A little bit about banking. So we recommend that before, when you get there, you do have some cash, some US dollars with you in case you want to buy something small and they don't take a card or something like that. So we recommend you that you bring some cash with you, and also to notify your Spanish bank that you will be moving and studying in the US. So if you're using your cards or your account, and they see, you're in the United States, they don't think this is a suspicious activity, okay? Also, when you're there, when you're settled, you might want to open a bank account and get a debit card. So we recommend you to check with International Student Services because they can help you with this and they can recommend you some places where you can open this. And also a quick note on credit cards. So in the United States, credit cards are very common, and sometimes they offer you incentives or rewards when you open credit cards. So our recommendation is that, you're careful with this and you know exactly what you're signing up for before you get a credit card, okay? I see that some of you are raising your hands and stuff. So I don't know if I can let you speak, but if you do have questions, please let us know on the question and answer box, okay? I don't see any questions right now, but feel free to write your question now and I will go through them when we're done, okay? Thank you. Okay, housing. So there are a lot of options in terms of housing in the United States. You can either live on campus or off campus. It depends on, your interests and the university, what they offer. Normally, if you're a first-year student, it depends on the university, but you might be required to live on campus on the dorms, but, we recommend you check with your university, okay? You can live in the dorms, you can live in apartment-style housing, cooperative housing, etc. When you're, once you're there, and if you're staying for more than 1 year, you're gonna make friends, and you might want to move in with them off campus, and that's also okay. There's other options like apartment houses, host families. If you join a fraternity or a sorority, they also have houses where you can live. So, this is very wide, and it depends from university to university. So before you go, check out what they offer and see what's the best option for you. Now that we're talking about housing, let's talk a little bit about living with others, right? The convivencia. So if this is your first time moving abroad and having roommates, it's always good to have some tips regarding this. So here are some basic do's and don'ts regarding convivencia. So first of all, interact with your roommates, right? Be friendly, have a chat with them. Decorate your room. Try to make it nice and cozy. Personalize it, right? Have a space to study or relax after class. It's always good to have a space that's like organized and that you can have a break, right? Be yourself. Try to feel comfortable and communicate with your roommates. So if you do have any, you need to talk about anything regarding living with them, you can feel free to express how you feel. And also talk about some general norms regarding sleeping time, light, short, etc., right? Some basic don'ts are, do not invite people without first talking with your roommate. So make sure that, they're okay with it. Do not leave a mess in common spaces. Okay, let's keep it clean for everybody. Don't take or move things around if they're from your roommate. So, make sure this is okay with them. And also, again, don't host any gathering or partying without asking your roommates first, okay? In general, just try to respect each other and try to make this living experience as best for everybody, okay? Insurance. So quick, just to let you know, health insurance is mandatory in the United States. So normally the best option is the one that your university offers, because it tends to be the most affordable one and the one that covers the most. So we recommend you to again check with maybe student services. They can help you with this and see what the options are. But each health situation might be different from person to person. So if you do want to buy additional health insurance, that's okay too. And I would recommend you to consult with student services to see what you can get. For drivers, if you're going to drive in the United States, make sure that you also have car insurance, because it's also mandatory, okay? Now that we're talking about cards, let's talk about transportation. So this will depend a lot on where your university is located, because the United States, it's a huge country, and it kind of is built different from state to state. It's a whole different thing. So we recommend you to check where your university is located and see what's around your campus. Sometimes you might be able to get buses or metros or ride a bike or car sharing. It depends. So check with your university. And if you want to drive in the United States, you must get a driver's license from the Department of Motor Vehicles in your state of residence. And if you do want to rent a car, for maybe a weekend trip or something like that, you have to be 25 years or older and have an international driving permit, okay? So this is something that if you do have a driver's license here in Spain, you can request to have an international driving permit here in Spain to be able to drive in the United States. Just to let you know, this is something you can do for sure, but this permit has a limited amount of time that you can use it. So after this period is done, and if you want to continue driving in the United States, then you're going to have to get a driver's license in your state, okay? Communication. So regarding Wi-Fi, US campuses are going to have Wi-Fi all over campus, so you don't have to worry about that. And if you do want to have, data and minutes, and you want to have a full phone plan, you can do that, and just contact student services. They can help you with, giving recommendations on which companies to get, okay? Regarding apps, normally, here in Spain, WhatsApp, Telegram are very, very used if you want to communicate with people. But right now, it's getting more popular in the United States, but people might still want to use iMessage or SMS. They are more commonly used. So just to let you know, some people might not use WhatsApp, okay? And if you want to keep in contact with, people here back home, there's a lot of options right now: Skype, FaceTime, Google Hangouts. feel free to use any of these, and don't forget about the time difference, okay? So make sure you're picking a time that works for everybody. Safety. Okay, so if this is your first time moving abroad, moving away from home, it's very far away, right? You might want to make sure that that you're safe. You want to feel safe. So we recommend you that you familiarize yourself with campus security services. Okay, in the United States, the universities will provide a lot of resource in terms of safety. So they might have like a buddy system that people will walk you will walk you home if it's late, or will walk you from one part of the campus to another. Imagine you're studying in the library and it's late and you don't want to go to your dorm by yourself. There might be this type of services, emergency phones through campus, safety numbers, campus security police, etc. So make sure that you're probably going to have more information when you're on campus about this, but if you do want to look it up right now, they might have it on the website, or you can contact student services to have more information. Also know that there are US federal laws, and that can vary from state to state, but basically the drinking age in the United States is 21 or over. So if you want to have a drink, go to a bar, or purchase alcohol, you need to be 21 or over. Same with smoking age, although this age might depend on from state to state. Okay. Also, if you're having a drink and then you're going to drive, please do not do that, okay, because this is a very serious offense in the United States. Same with possession. So we recommend you that don't do anything that can jeopardize your student visa and that can jeopardize your stay in the United States. Okay. All right, so now a little bit about culture shock. So this is something that it's going to be, this is normal because you're going to move from one culture to another, one way of doing things to another, and it might be really different from what you're used to, and that's okay. This is part of, your new experience and getting to know the American culture and stuff like that. So just be aware of this. Sometimes you might feel really excited and how everything looks around is very interesting and stuff like that, but maybe some other times you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed or nervous and stuff like that. So we recommend you that in these cases that you keep in contact with your friends and family back home, that you have a support system also with your friends in the States, with people from on campus, and reach out if you ever need anything. Okay, but we're going to talk a little bit, some examples about cultural differences, so you are aware of this and you already know, and oh yeah, okay, I know this is different from Spain, and that's part of like your new adventure, right? So first, tipping. So in the United States, if you're going out to have a meal, or maybe you're cutting your hair or something like that, you're expected to leave a tip, and it depends, but the normal amount is 15% or more. So, this is something you're expected to do, something that's different in Spain, right? Sales tax. So this means that, imagine you're shopping and you see something that you like, and when you go and pay, the price changes from what it says on the tag. It's a little more. This is because of sales tax, okay? So this can depend from state to state, and the amount can vary from whatever you're buying. So make sure you're aware of this. But some states don't have it. So if you're going to study in Oregon, I think Alaska and Montana and some others, you're lucky they don't have sales tax, okay? But in most of the United States, there's sales tax, okay? So don't be surprised about that. The bubble, the personal space. This is a concept that's different from here in Spain. So people in the United States tend to love their personal space more than we do here. So just be aware of this. Same with handshaking, right? So when you're greeting somebody in the United States, people don't tend to give 2 kisses. They might just say hello or wave to you. Or if it's a more professional setting, they will give you a handshake, okay? Sports. So, you might already know this, but soccer isn't as popular as here in Spain, in the United States. So some sports that are very big are American football, basketball, baseball, stuff like that. So, we recommend you to get to know these sports and maybe even, play these sports with your friends or whatever you're interested in. Regarding holidays, it's the same. There's different holidays, right? So make sure you know this. It could be very big for Americans and American culture, and sometimes even universities are closed during this time. So don't worry about this because you're gonna be making friends, right? So they're probably gonna invite you over to celebrate these festivities with you, or even student services might offer some events, some activities to celebrate. So we recommend you that you join those and you experience this new culture and get to know more about festivities, right? Dining schedule and norms. So this is something that can be very different from here in Spain, as you may know. The different, for example, breakfast might be normally it's a little earlier and it's a big breakfast, right? So normally we're talking eggs, bacon, potatoes, stuff like that. Then you're gonna have an earlier lunch around like 12, 1, and it's not as heavy, it's light. And then you're gonna have an earlier dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. and that's also a big meal. So just be aware of that, and you're gonna get used to this with time. Finally, university pride and student life. This is very fun because in the United States, the students and professors are very proud of the university and where they're studying, and they are normally going to be wearing a lot of like university merch, so t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts with the university colors or logo, and they would want to wear these to like any games that the sports teams are playing, and it's very fun. So we recommend you to join these and be part of these this community. Regarding identity and diversity, so US campuses are full of diversity, right? So this is a very beneficial aspect for you because at the end of the day, you're not only gonna be sharing classes and are gonna making friends with people from the United States, but also from all over the world, right? So this is a great opportunity for you to keep learning new cultures, new traditions, and explore other ways of life. And there might be also a lot of discussion and engagement regarding identity, diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility issues. So, it's a good opportunity for you to engage with this. Some final tips about being a student on a US campus is, they be in contact with the university in these months, if you can, and try to attend your school orientation. So normally universities are going to offer a school orientation and maybe even another orientation, a separate orientation for international students. So we recommend you to attend those because they're going to give you tons of useful information when you get there, and also it's a great opportunity to meet people, to start meeting people, making friends, and getting adjusted to your new experience. As we've talked before, there are a lot of resources for students that the university offers. So we recommend you to don't be shy, take advantage of all of these, ask if you need anything, and they are there to help you and to make your stay as enjoyable as possible. Finally, the work-life balance. Yes, you're there to study and to have good grades and all of that, but we also want to recommend you to have some time for yourself and enjoy and be social and maybe explore the whatever the States has to offer for you, right? So try to have a balance between your studies and also having fun. Remember, there's always someone there to help, so please don't hesitate on reaching out to your colleagues or your teachers or anybody if you need anything, because they are there to help. Last thing, we would love to stay connected with you on social media, so feel free to connect with us, and if we wanna know how your experience is going, if you're happy, if you're making friends, anything. So if you wanna send us some pictures or tag us, let us know how you're doing and show us how great your experience is going, okay? But I'm going to pass it over to Pedro Duran, who is from the US Embassy here in Madrid, the consular section. and he's going to be talking about student visas and everything regarding that. So again, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing this really important information to our students.
Hey, glad to be here. My name is Pedro Duran. Don't know if the camera goes on or not. Some of you will see me whenever you get your visa, so don't worry about it. First of all, I want to say I've been in your shoes. I was a F1 student one time, so I've been through this. So today what we're going to do is walk you through the whole visa application and kind of what the interview looks like. So yeah, let's go ahead. All right. So the process starts with you wanting to study in the U.S. At this time, you will apply for. I forgot. We're doing this in English or Spanish. Sorry. ¿Cómo prefieren?
It's up to you. If you want to continue in English or if you want to talk in Spanish so the students know and understand.
Sí, creo que podemos pasar al español. Pasa que entré en el modelo de cónsul y me fui. Pero bueno, lo importante de todo esto es que ustedes elijan estudiar en Estados Unidos en el momento que elijan, ya sea a través de una agencia, un programa, o ustedes directamente con la universidad, mandan su solicitud y la universidad lo va a aceptar a ustedes. Cuando tengan esa solicitud de la universidad, dependiendo del tipo de visa que elijan, ya sea una visa de intercambio, que es una J1, o una visa F1, que es de estudiante, la universidad le dará un documento que va con eso, que sería el I-20 para lo que son la visa F1 y el DS-2019, que es para la visa J1. Ya en cuando tengan ese documento con ustedes pueden solicitar una visa o a solicitar una cita para el visado con la Embajada de Estados Unidos, que se hace a través de la página web, y en un momento creo que le enseñamos la página. Ya cuando tengan su cita, es muy importante que traigan lo que es el DS-2019, si es para una visa J1, o el I-20, si es para una visa F1. El proceso de visado en sí, la entrevista, es breve. No vamos a hacer una entrevista de media hora. Toman alrededor de 1 minuto. Y lo que estamos buscando es asegurarnos que ustedes sean un estudiante, que de verdad quieran estudiar en Estados Unidos y hacemos eso. Podemos seguir el siguiente. Ok. En pantalla tenemos lo que son los formularios, que estos son los más importantes. Para entrar a Estados Unidos hay una combinación de lo que es el visado que va pegado a su pasaporte y estos documentos. El que tenemos a la izquierda es la J1, que es el DS-2019, y el de la derecha es la F1, que es el I-20. Estos documentos son los que le asegura a la gente de inmigración cuando entran en Estados Unidos que están en estatus, o sea, que mantienen su estatus como estudiante. Estos documentos tienen una fecha, determinan cuánto tiempo pueden estar en Estados Unidos, además de que dicen a qué universidad van y qué van a hacer. Es muy importante que el J1, que es el 2019, firmen, el oficial consular firme durante su entrevista ese documento, mientras que la F1 no requiere una firma del agente consular o del cónsul y sí requiere la firma de ustedes si son mayores de 18 años o de sus padres si es menor de 18 años. Es muy importante que lo que está subrayado en rojo es su SEVIS. Su SEVIS ID es como su número de identidad para ese estudio. Siempre y cuando estén en estatus, ese número va a estar válido. Ustedes pueden cambiar de universidad en el futuro si continúan estudiando en Estados Unidos y el número puede que cambie con ustedes o tengan que conseguir un número nuevo. Podemos ir al siguiente. Perfecto. Creo que la tasa SEVIS, aparte de pagar la solicitud de visa o la cita, hay que pagar lo que es la tasa de SEVIS. Esa tasa de SEVIS se paga en una página web que se llama mfjfees.com y van a pagar lo que es el I-901 fee, utilizando los números que van a estar en su documento que lo dio la universidad. No se puede pagar esta tasa SEVIS hasta que reciban el documento de la universidad, el I-20 o el 2019. El siguiente. El siguiente es el DS-160. Esa es su solicitud o su aplicación para la cita. Aquí ustedes van a llenar todos sus documentos sobre ustedes, dónde han viajado, dónde viven, tienen familiares, dónde van a estudiar y cosas así. Este documento es el principal documento que utiliza el cónsul cuando evalúa su aplicación para determinar su elegibilidad para ir a Estados Unidos. El siguiente. Y ya lo siguiente es la cita como tal. Al final del día son 3 diferentes pasos que por razones están separados. Hay que pagar la tasa SEVIS. Ya cuando tenga la tasa SEVIS pagada, ustedes rellenan su formulario DS-160 y al mismo tiempo hacen una cita en la página de la Embajada de Estados Unidos. Y todo esto se le va a entregar ya cuando lo pueden buscar en nuestra página web para la página web correcta que le tocaría. Cuando está llenando la cita, estamos dando mucha prioridad a los estudiantes para que no tengan que estar esperando. Usualmente la espera es de 1 o 2 días y si en algún caso no hay una cita particularmente cercana para usted o que le convenga, siempre tenemos una opción de pedir un expedited appointment, pedir una cita adelantada, pero para eso tendría que dar una razón válida para poder aprobarla. Ok, entonces, ¿qué necesitan cuando vengan a la cita? Bueno, para la cita van a necesitar su pasaporte vigente, el actual. Van a necesitar una foto de visado que tiene un tamaño particular, pero más importante es que sea una foto derecha, clara, sin gafas, sin nada que tape la cara y que podamos ver lo mayor posible de la cara. Si por alguna razón llegan a la cita y no existe una foto, la foto no está buena, podemos tomar una foto en la embajada con una máquina que tenemos. Lo que hay que pagar 6 o 8 euros y podrían sacar una foto nueva. También tienen que llevar su formulario de DS-160 que van a llenar ante la casa, que van a llenar en la casa antes de la cita y lo traen impreso, porque eso es lo que vamos a utilizar para poder cargar el caso a nuestro sistema. Y ya dependiendo del tipo de visa que tengan, tienen que llevar el DS-219, que es J1, o el I-20, que es la F1, más su tasa de SEVIS, el pago de la tasa SEVIS, que lo van a poner junto. Todos estos documentos son lo que necesitamos en un instante. Usualmente la gente lleva más, pero lo único que solicitamos en el momento de entrevista son los siguientes documentos. Ok. La entrevista principalmente se hace en inglés. Lo que estamos evaluando es su nivel de inglés que sea correspondiente. No vamos a hacer un examen TOEFL, no estamos evaluando su examen, solamente son preguntas sencillas. Usualmente las preguntas pueden que sea, ¿por qué quieres estudiar en Estados Unidos? Why do you want to study in the US? Where are you going to be living? And what are you going to do after college? Or why do you want to do this? So, sencillas básicas. Estamos haciendo preguntas open-end, abiertas para que ustedes se puedan desarrollar. No tienen que hacerme un discurso largo, solamente queremos saber que ustedes sí tienen ganas de estudiar en Estados Unidos, saben a dónde van y cuáles son sus planes al siguiente. Lo que sí le quiero decir de la entrevista es que pueden que estén nerviosos. Todos lo sabemos. Hemos visto muchas personas que se ponen nerviosos. Es muy complicado hablar, pero tienen que entender que somos seres humanos del otro lado y también pues, sabemos que si se tienen que tomar un tiempo, lo pueden tomar, pueden respirar y no pueden dar la respuesta. No hay que estresarse. Tratamos de hacer la entrevista lo más fácil, sencillo, y en muchos de los casos lo que le demos una información al final, usualmente un poco rápida, pero es muy importante que al finalizar su entrevista, nosotros nos quedamos con su pasaporte. Vamos a quedarnos con su pasaporte y se lo vamos a devolver, ya sea por correo a la oficina que existe en Madrid o se lo mandaremos a su casa, dependiendo de lo que ustedes hayan elegido al momento de hacer su aplicación o su cita. La devolución toma alrededor de 4 a 6, 7 días laborables, pero existen casos en los cuales puede que tengamos más tiempo, porque hay que hacer un proceso administrativo y sencillamente no nos permite imprimir el visado y tenemos que hacer un proceso administrativo. En ese caso, trataremos de comunicarnos con ustedes cuando sea necesario, pero si es un proceso que tenemos que resolver nosotros, no habrá comunicación. Si ustedes tienen un viaje urgente, siempre se pueden comunicar con nosotros y trataremos de adelantarlo lo más posible. Pero lo importante es que cuando vayan a la cita, no tengan planes la semana siguiente, porque necesitamos tiempo para finalizar el proceso, imprimir el visado y regresar el pasaporte. Es muy complicado cuando me dicen que tienen que ir a Estados Unidos o tienen que ir de vacaciones a otro país que necesitan el pasaporte. Se adelanta el proceso y puede ocasionar errores. Cuando lleguen a Estados Unidos tienen que llevar su pasaporte, su formulario de DS-2019, si es una J1 que estará firmado por el cónsul, o tienen que llevar su formulario I-20 si tienen una F1. Siempre que entren a Estados Unidos, tienen que llevar su documento más su pasaporte con el visado. El problema número uno que tenemos con estudiantes es que lo devuelven de Estados Unidos por faltarle uno de esos dos, ya sea el visado o su formulario de la visa. Entonces, lo más importante es que siempre viajen juntos esos dos documentos. Siguiente. Okay. Aquí tenemos unas informaciones adicionales donde pueden solicitar la visa, si quieren aprender más sobre la J1, donde llenar su formulario DS-120 y donde pagar la tasa SEVIS. Yo creo que podemos abrirlo para preguntas.
Genial, vale, pues a ver, vamos a mirar a ver qué preguntas tenemos aquí. Nos preguntan, how long does it usually take to process a J1 visa if we're still to get our DS 2019 from the university? So this person doesn't have their DS 2019 yet, and just want to make sure they know how long does it normally take, but we've already talked about it, but just to clarify again.
Sí, usualmente las universidades cuando terminan el proceso de admisión te van a enviar. Anteriormente enviaban la J1, el DS-2019 por correo. Ya no hacen eso, te lo envían directamente a tu correo electrónico, a tu email, y debería de tardar una semana debería ser inmediatamente la universidad te apruebe. En cuando ya tengas eso, solicita la cita. Nos estamos tardando entre 2 a 3 días para una cita hábil para la J1 y tomaría 4 a 5, 6 días laborables para retornarte el pasaporte. O sea que el proceso de que tú recibas la J1 a que tengas el pasaporte con el visado puede tardar 2 semanas. Pero siempre tienen que entender que puede haber un proceso administrativo o algo que atrase el proceso y lo alargue. Nosotros tenemos prioridades con los estudiantes, tenemos tu fecha de arribo a Estados Unidos, por ende, tratamos de hacerlo lo más rápido posible.
Muy bien. ¿Qué más dice? ¿Es problemático viajar y entrar en los Estados Unidos sin tener el viaje de vuelta para tema visado, inmigración, etcétera?
No. En este caso, como ustedes son estudiantes, solamente no tienen viaje de regreso. Si van por un programa corto, ya sea una J1 de intercambio corto, usualmente ustedes tienen su viaje programado de regreso. Pero si van por una F1 por 4 años de estudios, el agente de inmigración en Estados Unidos no va a ver eso como un problema.
Vale. A ver, ¿qué más? Dice, ¿el visado J1 permite al estudiante trabajar en Estados Unidos?
El visado J1 es un visado particular porque hay programas en la J1 en el cual son dedicados para trabajar en Estados Unidos, pero hay visados de J1 que no son para trabajar, sino son para un intercambio académico, ya sea una J1 para secundaria, high school, o una J1 para bachelor. Pero siempre es muy importante hablar con su program designator para entender cuáles son lo que se permite en su visado, y en la universidad le podrán decir mejor qué es posible o no con su visado.
Vale. ¿Qué más? Aquí hay un estudiante que dice, en mi DS 160 parece que nací en un pueblo de Sevilla, aunque lo hice en Sevilla. Es la misma área metropolitana. ¿Sería un problema?
No, cualquier inconsistencia en cuanto a su información en el DS-160 lo pueden comunicar al oficial consular en el momento de entrevista y dependiendo del detalle no debe ser un inconveniente. Podemos actualizar el documento en la entrevista.
Bueno. ¿Qué más? Si me voy de intercambio durante un año, ¿debería coger la F1 o la J1?
Todo depende de lo que vayas a hacer. Usualmente la J1 se llama lo que es un exchange, cultural exchange, por ende puede ser una J1 o un F1, pero depende de su universidad o el programa que usted vaya a elegir, le van a entregar el tipo de visado que sería necesario. Cuando usted aplique a su universidad o a su programa, ellos le indicarán qué tipo de visa le tocaría.
Vale. Eh, Dice, my university recommends us to print several copies of the DS 2019 in case we lose it. Might we take all of the to the interview in order to sign it by the embassy? So, oh, okay. So, they're going to print 2 copies of the DS 2019, and they want to know if they have to bring both copies to be signed.
No, te vamos a firmar una hoja de DS 2019. Ya cuando esté firmada, usted la pueden escanear y guardar digitalmente, pero no es recomendable que tengan 2 copias del 2019, porque en caso de que se extravíe una, alguien la podría utilizar en su vez.
¿Qué más? Vale, aquí hay otro estudiante, dice, solo para estar seguro, cuando vaya a la embajada con mi DS 2019 tiene que estar firmado por el officer, por mí mismo y por el cónsul, ¿es correcto?
El DS 2019 estará firmado por su program coordinator, su designated officer en la universidad, la persona que le envía los documentos.
Sí.
Usted lo va a firmar en la parte de abajo, en el último recuadro que indica que usted firma, y el oficial en el momento de aprobar su visa firmará y sellará el 2019.
Vale. ¿Puede ir un familiar a recoger nuestra visa a correo una vez emitida o tenemos que ir nosotros en persona?
El pasaporte cuando se envía a correo puede ser recibido o puede ser recogido por cualquier persona siempre y cuando usted le den autorización. Tendrían que darle una copia de su DNI o en el cual usted autorizan a tal persona a buscar su documento.
Luego aquí tenemos preguntas sobre, a ver, does each applicant have to fill different DS 160 when there are 2 dependents with an F2? Vale, o sea que esta persona tiene un visado F1, pero traerá a dos personas más con el F2. Entonces, habría que rellenar diferentes DS 160 por cada persona.
Sí, el DS-160 se llena por cada persona y la tasa de cita también se va a pagar por cada persona, pero el SEVI solamente se paga por el principal.
Vale, muchas gracias. ¿Qué más? A ver. Dice, tengo una cita de visado en las próximas 2 semanas y espero viajar a Estados Unidos a mitad de agosto para una semana y luego volver a España y luego volver a entrar a Estados Unidos en septiembre para sus estudios. ¿Eso podría suponer algún tipo de problema con el visado?
No debería ser ningún problema. Cuando ustedes entran a Estados Unidos, le tienen que indicar al oficial de inmigración cuál es su razón de entrar a Estados Unidos. Si van por turismo, necesitarían un visado de turismo o el pagar el ESTA, que es el visado electrónico para entrar a Estados Unidos. Y ya cuando vuelvan a salir y vuelvan a entrar, entonces ustedes le informan al agente de inmigración que ustedes vienen para su visado J1 a realizar sus estudios en Estados Unidos.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Vale, aquí hay un estudiante que dice que su pasaporte y su DNI se caducan estando en Estados Unidos. ¿Que eso sería algún problema?
Preferiblemente, el pasaporte debería de cubrir tu estancia, pero no siempre es posible. Pero necesitas por lo menos una validez de 6 meses en el pasaporte para poder ingresar. Ya puedes renovar el pasaporte antes de ir a Estados Unidos, o ya sea que el pasaporte se vence al año siguiente, puedes renovarlo en Estados Unidos o cuando vuelvas a España. Lo que tendrías que viajar, si regresas a Estados Unidos, con el pasaporte viejo que tiene su visado, más el pasaporte nuevo que es válido. Entonces tendrías que llevar 2 pasaportes porque el visado se pega en el pasaporte y no se puede remover.
Vale, ¿qué más? También preguntan cuántos días antes de la fecha que aparece en el DS 2019 se puede llegar a Estados Unidos para instalarse.
Ustedes pueden entrar 30 días antes de su fecha en el DS 2019 y pueden estar en Estados Unidos hasta 30 días después.
Vale, muchas gracias. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? ¿Qué pasa si en la dirección de entrega del pasaporte no hay nadie en casa? ¿Dónde se quedaría?
Es un correo certificado. El correo de España le dejaría un mensaje de dónde buscarlo, o sea, en la oficina de correo más cercana a usted. Y ahí lo podrían ir a buscar.
Y luego hay algunas preguntas un poco que, claro, están preocupados. Dice, ¿podría suceder que llegue a Estados Unidos y que me faltara algo por lo que no me dejaran entrar?
Todo en la vida es posible.
En principio, si trae
Pero
todos los documentos, claro.
no, pero recuerden que es siempre importante tener su pasaporte vigente con el visado, asegurarse que el visado no tenga ningún error, ya sea de su nombre, fecha o su número de SEVIS, asegurarse que tengan su documento de SEVIS, su documento del 2019 o el I-20 y que esos documentos no estén caducados y que la fecha esté por la fecha que van. Sencillamente no deberían de faltarle más nada que esos documentos.
¿Qué más? Eh, Vale, al rellenar el I-20 pide justificar unas cantidades. Ah,
Leí esa pregunta. Eso es una justificación de ingresos. Todo lo que se hace justificación sería con su universidad. Eso ya es un proceso directamente con la universidad, donde se tienen que dar una carta de banco o alguna otra prueba para asegurarse que son solventes para pagar su estudio. Pero eso es un proceso directamente con la universidad.
vale, ¿quieren volver a recordar qué documentos son los dos más importantes? ¿Qué documentos son los más importantes a la hora para tener tu visado?
Si quieres, vuelve a la página donde están todos los
Sí,
documentos.
aquí está.
Sí. Para el momento de la cita, estos documentos que están en la pantalla son los más importantes. Su pasaporte, su fotografía, la cita, que es el DS, bueno, la solicitud de la cita, que es el DS 160, su documento de universidad, ya sea el 2019 o el I-20, dependiendo de su visa, más el pago de la tasa SEVIS. Esos documentos serían los más importantes. Son 5. En la pantalla hay 6, pero todo depende de qué visa le tocaría. Y cuando viajen a Estados Unidos, es muy importante que lleven su pasaporte y el documento de su visa, ya sea el DS 2019 si es una J1 o el I-20 si es una F1.
Ujú. Vale, hay otra pregunta sobre si se puede tramitar el visado desde España cuando no soy residente, pero tengo un permiso de residencia al ser estudiante en España.
Claro que sí, se puede tramitar y tenemos citas disponibles muy cercanas para ese tipo de solicitante.
Vale, estupendo. Bueno, ¿qué más? El tamaño de la foto es un tamaño, no es de carnet de DNI, es un poco más grande, ¿no? El tamaño,
Sí,
sí, eso es. Vale. Está todo, eso está todo. Yo creo que, bueno, no lo tenéis.
todo está en la página, en
Ya
nuestra
está.
página web de la embajada. Pueden verlo, pues serían 2 pulgadas por 2 pulgadas, que serían 51 milímetros por 51 milímetros. Serían 2 pulgadas por 2 pulgadas. Tendrían que hacer la conversión. No, no me la sé exactamente ahora.
Vale, y a ver, una última pregunta. En mi DS 2019 pone not eligible for service transfer. ¿Hay algún problema con eso?
Eso tendrías que hablar con la universidad directamente, porque es algo particular que la universidad te tiene que tendrías que informarte a la universidad por qué pasa eso, o tu programa, con el programa que estás.
Vale. Bueno, pues en principio yo creo que algunas de las que se han quedado ya hemos contestado, pero bueno, si hay alguna otra pregunta podemos ir también respondiendo a la medida que vayamos avanzando.
Sí.
Yo creo a lo mejor, por último, simplemente dar un poco más de información, bueno, volver a recalcar y cuánto tiempo antes de la fecha del inicio del programa y cuánto tiempo después de la fecha de finalización se puede estar por Estados Unidos o cuándo habría que salir, cuánto tiempo hay.
Muy bien. Para la J1 pueden entrar a Estados Unidos 30 días antes del programa que está en su documento DS-2019 y podrían estar en Estados Unidos 30 días después de esa fecha que igual te lo indica el mismo 2019. Hay casos que podrían renovar, pero la fecha que están en el documento son 30 días antes y 30 días después. En cuanto a la F1, podrían entrar 30 días antes y ya su fecha de caducidad no existe en su documento I-20, sino es cuando terminan su programa, tienen 60 días para estar en Estados Unidos después de acabar su programa, a menos que hagan otro programa o hagan OPT y CPT, que serían otras cosas muy diferentes. Pero para la F1 son 30 días antes y 60 días después de que acaban sus programas, y la J1 son 30 días antes y 30 días después.
Muy bien.
Pues muchísimas gracias por toda la información.
Vale, bueno, pues hoy tenemos la suerte de contar con, I think I'm going to switch to English again. We're so lucky to have two Education USA alumni who worked with us preparing their applications to schools in the US, and they're studying there. They are Alba and Christina, and we've prepared some slides with some pictures that they shared with us, some more information about what they're doing, what their plans are. They're going to tell us a little bit about their experience, and then they'll be able to answer some questions based on the experience that they've had so far. So if you want to, yeah. Okay, I was going to introduce you guys, but why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your university, what state, where you are, what you're studying, and what you're doing. Cristina?
Hi,
Cristina.
my name's Christina. I attend the University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida. My major is mechanical engineering, and I don't have a minor, but I'm trying to get my AI certificate. And the most useful academic resource on campus that I chose is office hours.
Okay, well, we'll talk a little bit more about it. If you would like to add anything about that on the next slides. Let's see, Alba. Yeah.
That is not me.
Yeah, that's not you. No. There you go.
Okay, yeah, so this is me. My name's Salva. I am currently studying in Colgate University. I am a junior, so 2024-2025 is going to be my last year. And Colgate is in the state of New York, even though it's a little bit further up to the north. I am currently doing international relations and double minoring in economics and peace and conflict studies. And yeah, I think, like it's said in the presentation, I think that the writing center and kind of like the library clerks, tutors, office hours, kind of like, and all the guest speakers that Colgate offers are such an important resource on campus.
Okay, cool. Well, so we prepared some general topics and some questions, some prompts. Let's see the next slide. So just feel free to answer any of these questions in no particular order. If anything that is important for people traveling to the US in the next couple of months that you think is important comes to mind, please add it. But so arriving on campus, how is it? What was your orientation like? What was your biggest challenge? Anything related to this that you can tell us?
Yeah, so I think arriving on campus for Colgate, it's a little bit special because we have this thing called international student orientation. So students that are part of the international kind of like program, we arrived, I believe it was 10 days early. So we had 10 days where we would meet other international students and we would have different kind of like activities around Colgate and around the city that's close to us, which is Casanova. I think it was really interesting having those days to meet people that are also international and have like kind of like the same background as me. But then we had general orientation where we were able to meet the rest of the students. Arriving was definitely very, I would say, scary at first because mostly for international students, we did not know each other, but then you would meet some domestic students and some of them would like go to the same high school or like they would know people that went to the same school or they would kind of like know of people. So you would arrive there as an international student and no one would know you and you wouldn't have that kind of like network of people that you already knew. But I think that later on for the next couple of weeks, you kind of like adjust yourself to meeting new people. And I would always say that at least in Colgate University, like at my campus, everybody's super open to meeting new people and getting to know other people. So people would always approach me, especially because I'm the only Spaniard in the university. So people would approach me and be like, oh, like you're the girl from Spain, blah, blah, blah. And then you would just meet a lot of people. And I think Colgate does do a lot of like activities and a lot of work to make international students feel really kind of like communicated and really feel like it is a safe space for them.
In my case, well, UF is a really big university. And my year was also like, we still had COVID going on, or like the end of COVID. So my orientation was on Zoom. I didn't have a like in-person orientation, so that was a little bit weird. I didn't actually get to meet people, so it was a little bit harder for me. But UF also has like a kind of like Tinder, but for roommates. So I met my roommate through that platform. It's called RoomSync. And she's also from Spain. So I already knew someone going to UF that was from Spain. So that was good for me. Also UF had like other international student events later on in the semester. So you could meet other people from like around the world, which was really cool. And choosing my classes, it was also through Zoom, and the advisor, they were okay. UF has a really bad advising system for engineers. So it was a little hard at first, but then you meet older people and you ask them for advice. That's the only bad thing about UF advising.
Okay, let's jump onto our next slide. Living and dining. Why don't you tell us a little bit about if you live on campus or off campus, what roommates you have, what the experience of eating in the United States is like for you, and if you've noticed any changes as compared to what your life was like in Spain, as compared in terms of meals and schedules and classes schedules and all of that.
if you want to go first, so we can go one first and then the
Yeah.
other, or I can
Okay.
go first, whatever you prefer.
I can go now if you want. So I lived in a dorm, but it was apartment style, and it was kind of on campus, but farther away from all the building, like main class buildings, I would say. So my dorm slash apartment was for 4 people, and we each had our own room, and there was also a kitchen and a living room. So my living situation was different than most freshman students. I didn't have a meal plan because I cooked my own meals in the apartment, which was, I really liked it because I didn't have to eat like, I guess, worse quality meals. Because usually, I've been to the, what is it called? The dining halls. And the food isn't the best, like compared to Spanish food, it's really not that great. Also depends on the university, but at UF, it's like, it's okay. So yeah, I had 3 roommates, and then, yeah, I've never had a meal plan, so I can't give you insight on that, but usually all universities have like, their own, like, money system, I guess, and then you have swipes, and you can get different types of meal plans.
Okay, so I think Colgate has a really special living and dining system. So freshman year and sophomore year, every person has to live in dorms and that are owned by Colgate, and everybody has to have what we call the infinite meal plan, or the unlimited meal plan, which is basically you can go anywhere on campus and eat anywhere and go as many times as you want, eat as much food as you want. It's like at any time. So that's for freshman and sophomore year. And then freshman year, before you arrive to Colgate, around, I would say, June or July, somewhere around there, you get like little, not a quiz, but like a questionnaire, and you have to answer that, a lot of like the questions about you and your living style, and based on that they will put you in a dorm with someone. So my freshman year, I lived in what we call a suite, which is 2 doubles, and then in between the 2 doubles, like a really big common space. So I lived with 3 people, but in my room it was only me and another person. Then my sophomore year, I chose my own room, and I was lucky enough to get a single room in my dorm. And for junior and senior year, well, for junior year, you have to live either in apartments, which are also owned by Colgate, or in what we call townhouses, which are kind of like big houses for 8 or 16 people, also owned by the university. And then senior year, you can live either in apartments in townhouses, or you can get approved to live off campus, and you get your own like little house and rent it with your friends or alone, or kind of like however you organize it. But my junior year, so this year, I had only 1 roommate. It was a 2-person apartment, and we each had our own singles. And then senior year, which I'm gonna be living in this year, it's gonna be an apartment for 3 people. So it's gonna be 3 singles, and it's gonna be me with 2 friends. So that's how I've been doing it. I've been actually really, really lucky because I've been able to live in a single for 3 years. And if I could have chosen, I would have also chosen a single my freshman year. But I really enjoy the apartments because I have my own single, which means I have my own kind of like space, but then at the same time I live with people. So I'm alone in my room. I have my own bathroom. I have my own kind of like space, my bed, everything in my closet. But then I have kind of like a common space with other people. And then the meal plan, junior and senior year, you can choose the unlimited or other options that they offer.
Okay.
I forgot to add, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
the dorm was my freshman year. Right now I'm gonna be a senior, but I'm gonna stay an extra year. And I've lived off campus in an apartment, like townhouse, so it has like living room and kitchen downstairs and the rooms upstairs. For like sophomore, junior, and then this year as well.
Also, I also forgot, sorry, about the food. I completely like did not even think about it. For junior and senior year, since you can choose, like usually you can cook throughout the 4 years your own food. In the dorms there's kitchens, but since most people have the unlimited like plan, they don't cook. But then junior and senior year, I personally chose a plan called block plan, which is basically like 90 or 100 meals in a semester, so you can go 100 times and eat. And then the rest of the times I would cook. So I think that the food that I would like eat is similar because I had the choice and the chance to cook. But then meal plan wise, Colgate has different like meal places where you can eat and different like dining spaces. So depending on what I wanted, I could go to like the Mexican station and get like a taco or eat like Greek food. So it kind of like depended on what was I in the mood of, but definitely like you're not gonna get like croquetas in like America, or you're not gonna get like really specific food that's Spanish, but I would say it's like pretty good, honestly.
Okay, interesting. Very, very different experiences. As you guys know, we have a person in New York State, we have a person in Florida, so you'll see how different the states can be. And like we mentioned before, always reach out to the student affairs or student life offices to get more information about resources. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So in terms of academic success, what was your biggest adjustment? What was something that helped you? That's why we asked you before what the most useful resource was for you, and what have you liked or disliked the most about your classes so far?
So I think the biggest adjustment I faced was the system. So for example, I was used because I took all my classes in English in Spain, but it was a really different system, so to say. Because I would have like really big number of like specific classes and I would not make my own schedule. Whereas I think in my university, I am able to choose the classes I want to take. I am able to kind of like organize my schedule. I work in my university, so I was able to like maybe put my classes in the morning so I can work in the afternoon or vice versa. So I think that was a big adjustment, being able to like organize my schedule however I want it. And I think that's like a pretty positive thing that I was kind of like shocked to have. Then one thing that helped me succeed academically, I would say it's definitely, we have a place called the Writing Center, which you can go there and practice your presentations and your essays and your exams, and they help you with that. So you have the Writing Center and the Tutoring Center. So those two centers, I think, helped me so much with my academics because I was able to proofread everything and to actually tell me what was going on that I was doing wrong, apart from my professors. And then I think another thing that really helped me was speaking with professors. So not only office hours from my own professors, but also my advisor. I think speaking with my advisor and actually creating a relationship with my advisor has helped me grab onto so many opportunities that I would not have even had the chance to participate in if I wouldn't have had like a relationship, so to say, with my advisor. And then I think what I like the most about my classes is how dynamic they are and how small they are. Colgate is a small school, so our classes are pretty small and you always have time to speak with your professors. I've developed so many like friendships with some of my professors, and a lot of personnel from the university, not only professors. But for example, professors would bring guest lectures and I would be able to actually speak with them and like sit down with them and have conversations with them because at the end of the day, it's a small school and it was part of my class. And then I think what I disliked the most was how rigid they were. So, and they are. I think sometimes I forget that even though I make my own schedule, it's really difficult sometimes to fit in every single thing you want to make. So let's imagine you want to take international law and it's at 9 a.m. in the morning, but you also want to take, I don't know, like Chinese economy, and it's also at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I think kind of like not being able to manage putting it, like having many sections. Since it's a small school, they can't offer like 10 sections of the same class many times. So they offer 1 or 2, and sometimes they don't really like fit exactly how you want to do it, like your schedule. And you have to maybe say, okay, well, I'll have to take this class next semester or at another time. So I think that's something that I not about particularly about like my content in my classes, but rather on like the classes like us in a general sense.
So I agree with Alba, that making your own schedule is really cool because you can basically take all you, like for example, next semester I have all my classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I don't have anything on Tuesday and Thursday. That is like a really cool thing that you can do in the US. But it also comes like it is really hard to fit everything the way you want it to fit. In my school, it's a little easier because we have multiple sections in most of the classes. But it is really stressful. At least for me, it was very stressful because as an international student, we came in with no credits, and American students come in with high school credits, so they get priority in the order that you get to choose your classes. So I always was the last one, and I had to wait list my classes since UF is really big. There's like 30,000 students, so I had to wait list. I ended up getting all my classes eventually, but it gave me a lot of stress. But yeah, I think that was a big adjustment. Also, the general classes like calculus, physics, all of those classes were like in my university, like 250 people or more. So that was also a big adjustment. Like the lecture halls were really big. But I don't know, different experiences, I guess. Also different from the Spanish curriculum, we have a lot of homework assignments. Like every week you have to like keep up with your coursework, because if not, you're gonna have a lot of homework assignments due the day of, and then it's not good. So yeah, that was the biggest adjustments, I think. Then I chose office hours for what helped me most academically, although it took me a while to actually go to them because I don't know, I felt like I didn't need them, but then obviously I at one point I wasn't getting the grades that I wanted to, so I went to office hours and I realized that I was a little bit dumb. I should have went from the beginning. I also work at UF. I'm a TA, which means teaching assistant, so I have to hold my own office hours for other students, and that has helped me realize how important they are too. But yeah, you basically just ask questions about the homework or about your subjects, and the professor or the TA will answer you. What else? Usually, there's another thing academically that UF has. Well, most of universities have it, I think. It's we use GroupMe, so every class that you have, we'll probably make a group chat with all the students, and then you can ask questions there and other students will help you. That's not part of the university itself, but I thought it was cool too. What I have liked most about our classes is that they're very like you get to since there's a lot of homeworks and then there's labs and it's very applied, so like very visual. I don't know, like I've had multiple labs where I had to use like a Bunsen burner or like mills and lathes, and I had to make my own stuff. So that was really cool. That's what I liked most about my classes.
Okay, thank you. Let's see our last topic. So campus life and involvement. You briefly mentioned some things about this, but how are you involved in your campus? How do you also mentioned that it's a bit of a struggle to balance your activities with schoolwork, also if you're working. What do you do to have fun? Have you attended any parties? And I think I saw before a question about being under 21. So if you could also talk about how the experience was for you being under 21, how you struggled with that, or how was it waiting until you were 21 to have access to clubs? Nothing illegal, please.
So for activities, I'm involved in UF Club Tennis and Solar Gators. And I'm planning to join another one. That's Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers next semester. I don't know yet, but I was thinking about it. So to find activities, so my university is really big, so we have a lot of student activities and like student groups. If there's sports, there's usually different pages for it on the university page. So you can probably find a list of all the student organizations that are in your university. And UF is very sports centered. So I really wanted to join a tennis club, and I found that the summer before I got to UF. So I started looking into it really early. And then I contacted them, and a whole thing that I did that wasn't really necessary because you go the first day and then you start meeting a lot of people. But yeah, that's how I found about club tennis. And then the other one is Solar Gators is a design group. So it's more like major oriented. And that one I joined late. So I joined sophomore year. So like 2 years ago, I guess. And I found out about that one through the webpage on my university. And so I don't know if you guys want me to explain what Solar Gators is. Solar Gators, I guess I will. Solar Gators is like a design group that we design a solar car. And then we just go to competitions around the US. Basically that. Then how do you balance activities? So it can be kind of hard. But usually like student organizations don't require you to go. So like it's not mandatory to go. So if you have an exam the day after or like other plans, you can just skip the meeting and tell your friends and it should be fine. But yeah, my job is like online, so I can grade and do all of that stuff whenever I want. Usually when I'm tired of all my other homework, I will grade like for my class. Office hours, I just pick a blank space in my schedule. So for example, next semester, it'll probably be Tuesday or Thursday since I don't have classes. And then to have fun, so UF is, as I said, very big. So we have a lot of sororities and fraternities in Greek life. I'm sure you've heard of it before. But basically, there's parties every weekend if you know how to find them. And they're 18 plus. So all the sorority events and fraternity events are 18 plus. So you can go to every single one. So yeah, that's a really good way to party, I guess. Also, UF or Gainesville, I guess, has clubs that are 18 plus. So you should look into the ones that you can actually get into. Obviously, you won't be able to get alcohol because they put a band on you. So if you don't have the band, you can't get alcohol because you're not 21. But yeah, but you can get into the club and like dance with your friends. Yeah, that's what you do to have fun in Gainesville.
Okay, so I think the systems for like campus life and involvement are pretty similar for both of us. Activities wise, I'm involved in Spanish debate, so I am the president of that currently. I've been in it since freshman year, and sophomore year, I think I became the vice president, or the like helping the vice president, something like that. I don't even remember. And then last year I was the vice president, and this year I'm going to be the president of that. I'm also involved in French club. I'm the treasurer of French club, and I was part of the real estate club, and I did boxing for a pretty long time. So as of how I found these activities, for most of my extracurricular clubs, except French club, which I took French for 2 years. So my French professor recommended me the club and kind of like introduced me to it. So that's how I actually joined it and became the treasurer. But for the Spanish debate and the real estate club, I actually found about it because Colgate organizes fairs for clubs. So you can go there and see most of the clubs that are available to Colgate, which are actually so many. I was briefly part of this club, which is called Cheese Club, where they would send you cheese and you would try them and review it just because I wanted to eat cheese and get new cheese every month. So there's absolutely every single club you can think of. It probably exists at Colgate. So I joined through the fair. And then there's also a sports fair, which is how I found out about boxing. But also Colgate requires students to do 2 credits in sports. So you can do so many activities. You can join a club, you can do like a specific sport. So for example, there's like a volleyball club, there's like a football club, there's an American football club. There's so many clubs you can join, or you can do like individual sports. You can do classes, which is what I did with boxing. And there's so many options. You just have to take 2 credits of that, which means like 2 semesters. Or yeah, 2 semesters. And then for the other ones, I found out through the fair. Then balancing activities with schoolwork, I think it's really important for me to organize myself because I really enjoy having my free time at Colgate and to spend it with my friends, and also be able to like relax and call my friends and family back at home and just like have time for myself. So the way I kind of like organize myself throughout these 3 years it has been having a really clear and rigid schedule, and being able to kind of like organize specifically which moments I'm going to study, which moments I'm going to have free time. So for example, after a specific time, I would not study anymore. And I would have time for myself and to call friends and family, which I think is like a pretty crucial thing for me. But then I would also kind of like try to go to the library as much as possible. And Colgate has a great library to do that because like people there will like be there all the time. So you will see your friends and you will like sit down with them and have kind of like study groups to be able to study with them and like spend time with them in the library. But I think having kind of like that really clear, like strict difference between free time and studies, I think is like what made it for me, like the way that I could organize myself correctly and do it in like a way that worked for me. And then to have fun, there's a lot of activities at Colgate. I was part of a sorority for 2 years. I dropped out of the sorority this year for senior year because I was just not interested in being in it anymore. But I really enjoyed being in this sorority because I was able to actually meet so many people, and my sorority did a lot of activities that were involving other sororities and other fraternities. So I was able to meet a lot of people that are right now super close friends of mine, and we would do activities like we would go apple like to an apple farm, and we would like go apple picking, and we would do activities like we would go to different places like Syracuse, and we would go there and like have lunch, all of the girls, and sometimes we would do it with like fraternities. We would also do activities like baking, or we would have like events that we can join. So it was like a really nice way of like having people and places to go to and to be able to socialize. And at Colgate, it's, I think, absolutely same as Christina. We had parties that were you were able to enter, and they would like it worked a little bit different. So people that were 21 would get a wristband, but then people that were under 21, you would get a mark in your arm, so they would know you're under 21, and you would not get served alcohol, only soft drinks or water. But for example, my sorority organized these things called formals, which are like really fun events that like no alcohol was involved unless you were a senior, and it was like super controlled. Also, Colgate organized a lot of events where if you were 21, you would have your wristband, and if you were under 21, you would have the stamp. So there were so many, there are still, and there were so many options to do. I think clubs also help a lot, find out what you like having fun in. So for example, the Spanish debate club, we travel a lot. So I've been able to visit Mexico every year we go, and it's paid by Colgate. So you have options to like travel and meet new people and like have fun and do new activities just by being part of these clubs. And then you have different activities in the university. So yeah, I think that's kind of like how I've been organizing and kind of like doing my life for these 3 years.
I want to add, I don't know how I forgot about it, but UF has a football team, and it's really big in UF. So basically every fall semester, only in fall, there's football matches every weekend or every 2 weekends. And there's tailgates, which are like parties that are set before the game, and then there's parties after the game, so like it's crazy. And then the stadium is bigger than the Real Madrid, like Santiago Bernabeu, so it's whenever it's full, it's really cool to look at. And there's different traditions in each university, so whoever's going to a school with football, then you'll be able to enjoy all of that. And I also wanted to add that if you join a club sport, there's usually nationals and like sectionals. So for example, for club tennis, I've been to nationals all 3 years, and they're usually in different places. So I've been to Arizona with them for free because they paid for it. So it's a really cool way to also keep playing your favorite sport and traveling.
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all the great questions, and we really hope that you have a great experience. And yes, as we said, please keep in contact, send us picture, tag us, let us know how it's going, and just make sure that you're enjoying your studies and you're also exploring the country and meeting people and having fun. Okay, so thank you again. And yeah, as we said, if you do have further questions, let us know, send us an email, and we'll be happy to help you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pedro, for being here.
Thank you.
We wish everybody good luck. And yeah, and again, if we didn't answer your question, always reach out to your university, because they're going to be the ones that they will give you the most accurate information, and contact us. Thank you, everyone.
Regarding on how we can communicate, there's our website, okay, Education USA. I don't know if we have it somewhere. Maybe. Well, these are our social media, but basically if you look up Education USA Spain, there's our website, and there's a point of contact, or email us educationusaspain@fulbright.es. And yes, you can ask us anything, okay? All right. Well, thank you. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye, everybody.